Welcome to the very first Between Escrows with Roger Savy and myself, Amy Scruggs. We have come together and realized that we have years of coaching and working with real estate and lending professionals on our own, and now collectively to say, wait a minute, there's some incredible information that can help you grow, especially with the uncertainty sometimes of the market, where today's world is. Between the Escrows, we are going to be that safe space that says, where can I just get today's lesson? Where can I learn that one thing that's going to help elevate my business? Today, we are going to be discussing your network, your database. But Roger, I love how you say what the database really is anyway. So I'm going to take this off with you. You have a lot of experience working with real estate and lending professionals, and especially in this hyper topic of just our database. It's kind of an old school word, but let's fluff it up. Share with me what you feel that word means.
Thank you, Amy, and how exciting it is, and what a privilege to be in front of people that call you coach and that allow you to do that. So I'm honored to be in your presence, and you're so right. We often refer to it as our database. You know, database is an IT word, and we're not in IT, you and I. We are in the people business. So it's far better to call it a data bank, because when you focus it on it with the right energy in the right place, it pays you back for a lifetime. Because I'm quite sure you would agree, a transaction will pay the bills, relationships will make you a fortune.
I couldn't agree more. And I really love that. It made me think of the word like power bank. When we talk about plug into a power source, that's our power bank. And you're saying that our database, it holds that same kind of power. It's the fuel behind everything that we have maybe already built and where we're going. Let's talk about with someone maybe that's new in the industry and they may think that they don't even have a data bank yet. Where would you tell them to start with those relationships?
Absolutely. You know, the maximum amount of people you can have a meaningful relationship with at any one time is 150. It's known as Dunbar's number. Robin Dunbar is professor of anthropology at Oxford University and wrote many books. And one of them was, how many friends can you actually have? And it's about 150. After that, the intimacy gets less and less and less. Right? So imagine this. If you were to think about everyone that is in your LinkedIn, are they in your data bank? Everyone that is in your contact list on your smartphone, are they in your data bank? Everyone that connects with you on Facebook, are they in your data bank? Where did you work before? What about whoever your spouse works? What about their friends? Who cuts your hair? Who fixes your car? Who do you know through the kids? Chunk it up. And then you cannot believe how many people you actually know. And once you've got that master list, then it's time to decide who are the relationship multipliers within that number.
What do you advise as far as categories? Because my little bingo brain just went right into, files, categories. This person fits here and this person fits here. Is that overkill? Or do we narrow down and just say, what are those top warmest relationships that we look at first? Or do we break out all the categories and then look at it? How do you advise, even in our minds, how we take a look at this?
Of course,
power bank?
such a smart question, Amy. I often hear people, I want a CRM. Roger, what's the best CRM to use? And of course, the flippant answer is the best CRM is the one you use. Okay. So once you've got that past that, I just want a campaign where I can set it and forget it. Oh, at our peril that we do that. At our peril. Because now we've got the silly recipes and the silly little notes that go out to people, treating them all the same way. Right, now that I've got my data bank sorted out, where are my leads? That is such transactional thinking. To come into the relationship side of it is looking at that data bank and saying to yourself, number one, who amongst these people have entrusted me with their money in the past? There we go. Bucket
I love the word trust, entrusted, because it's so powerful.
That's right. Because they like you already. You've earned their trust, and they are the most easily influenced by you. So there is bucket number one. Bucket number two is who speaks you up, even when you're not in the room. Those are
Ooh.
called ambassadors or advocates. And to have a data bank full of advocates is the best to have. So there is bucket number two. And there could be some crossover on those two, like a Venn diagram, because some of the people that entrusted you with their money could be advocates as well. Then the question to ask, who is the third best group to sell to? We've already given one and two. The third best are people in our industry who are ready to buy now, refinance now, or sell now. How do you find that intersectionality of those who've entrusted you with their money, advocates, and those who want to do business right now? And those are the best ways to segment out your data bank. What are your thoughts on that?
I love it because I tend to think that way as well.
Mhm.
And I was just putting some thoughts in this as you were sharing as well about the different personality types. You and I clearly are over the top extroverts. So we'll walk in any room, shake every hand, and
Good.
we can tell you the names of their kids by the time we leave the room. And we've made 25 game plans and 3 coffee meetings and 2 dinners, right? So you and I have a tendency to be that way. But there are a lot of amazing, high qualified and highly successful sales professionals that are also introverts. So I want to speak to that introvert right now, that the thought of just even breaking down those things just put a lump in their throat. Let's speak to the introverts on how they best approach their power bank.
Yeah. So when they scan through their data bank, Amy, and that was a very thoughtful question. When they scan through their data bank, put a little plus sign next to people that give you energy. Put a
Mm.
little plus sign next to those that give you energy. And for those that ambivalent, that don't do anything for you, there's no energy, put a 0 next to their name. And for those people that subtract from you, take from you, that show no intellectual curiosity, put a little division sign, because they are dividers. They divide, and then, they divisors, they make the energy less, and focus on those that add energy to you. And when you interact with that bucket of people, you will find that if you ask really good questions and then just zip it, people will talk back to you and you can listen. And people drop breadcrumbs as they're talking to you. And ask questions upon those breadcrumbs that they've just given you. Next minute, you can follow the breadcrumbs and you're building up your emotional bank account with those people. And they will continue to give you business, continue to speak you up, and continue to maybe tell you where you can find those people that are ready to do business right now. So take heart if you're an introvert. You don't have to be the loudest person in the room. Just learn to ask some really good questions.
What I love hearing you loud and clear that's resonating to me is that our network and our database is not transactional, it's relational.
Yeah.
So, how do we change that mindset that when we're even afraid of maybe our database being too large or too small, how we see it from a relational lens for our long term success?
Yeah, absolutely right. I remember attending a 2-day mastermind, which I was conducting, and I said to the people attending, tonight, before you go to sleep, write down the number one fear that you have. Write down a fear or a boundary that you wish to get past. Next day, there were 12 of them. Only 6 had written down something. That told me how big fear and procrastination is, to just change something, to just change something. And so when you decide to think about your data bank, reframe it in your brain. It's not my data bank. I've got to make cold calls. Reframe it in your brain. At 9 o'clock today, I'm going to bump into the universe. At 9 o'clock today, I'm going to talk to my friends. At 9 o'clock today, I'm going to ask great questions of my friends. Reframe it in your brain. Because when you start saying, oh, at 9 o'clock, time to prospect from my database, suddenly the fear, the mediocrity creeps in and you end up second guessing yourself and nothing happens. Autopilot sets in. But when you decide, oh, look, a list of people that add energy to me. All they wish to do is hear my voice, and a conversation will flow from my great questions. And while you're doing it, always ask yourself, why am I doing this? To remind you that relationships will make you a fortune. And as long as you add massive value to the people that you're talking to, things look after itself.
It is so brilliant. And I can say that firsthand, I've lived this experience, but I love how you articulate it as a multiple career. For those that don't know me, I've been in the mortgage industry. I started in wholesale. I have done business development. I've been a touring recording artist and a television host, and I sit on the board of probably 5 nonprofits. So to say that my power base is extensive, that's an understatement. But every one of those opportunities came about because of my database, which started small in my 20s and has grown now into my 50s to unbelievable connections and network. And I am so grateful, because those times that I haven't felt myself, those times maybe when I've had a setback in life or family crisis I needed to step away and take care of, I'm able to come back and guess who's there? Those power relationships that said, we're still here. We still know who you are. And for me, it was making sure that I was authentic in these relationships, that you know who I am. So I can not only mentor and help others, but I know that those that have mentored and helped me in the past are still there. But that's that extrovert and that relational person that I am, that I have so been grateful for this success. Just like Roger, I know 10 years from now, I'm going to be able to call you and ask a question. Say, hey, can you help me? Do you know somebody who? If somebody is starting out with that small list, we've got a young professional, just new in their license, maybe just new in their company, in any industry, but especially in the real estate and mortgage community. How do you advise that first reach out, getting over those nerves for those first individuals, to not feel salesy, but just to say, hey, this is who I am and this is what I do?
And by the way, Amy, that voice that you have as a recording artist is superb. I've watched your video so many times. How many talents can one person actually have?
Flipping hats.
That's exactly right. Spinning those plates. So you're exactly right. The big pink elephant in the room for most people that have scraped together 20 people that they know into their data bank, and now, what do I say? That comes down to, what do I say? So some of the pointers are, make sure it's in your planner. At 9 o'clock, talk to the universe, or talk to my friend, reframe, right?
Yes.
9 o'clock, you say positive things to yourself. They're home, they're happy, they want to hear from me. Talk to your brain, right? Don't do these calls sitting down. Don't, because your chair wants some of your energy.
Yes.
So stay in peak state. Stand up, and when you dial and you hear the phone ringing, do not think to yourself, oh, I hope they don't pick up. Then I'll just leave a message. Don't do this to yourself, right? When they pick up and they go, hello, and you go, hey, Amy, it's Roger. Do you still recognize this voice? And Amy goes, Roger, a blast from the past. How are you doing? Here it comes. You know, Amy, I could kick myself I don't stay in contact with you more often. Or, you know, Amy, you crossed my mind last night, and I wasn't going to let another day go past without reaching out and just saying hello. Please tell me everyone in the house is doing good. Can I have a quick catch up on what's going on in your world? Right? Do not start off with commission breath. Do not start off saying, oh, by the way, I'm a loan officer. Do you know anybody who wants to buy a home, sell a home, invest in real estate that I could speak to? Don't do this to us.
We laugh, but we hear that a lot, don't we?
Yes. Just start off with human authenticity. Let them hear the energy in your voice. Speak 1/3 slower because it gets your breathing under control, and just enjoy what they give back to you. No, Roger, we're fine. The kids are all doing good. Oh, yeah. Remind me of the kid's name again. Do they go to college locally? You can always pick up on what they're saying. Before you know what, that big pink elephant has vaporized. Right? Now, what happens next is you say to them, I pledge, Amy, that I'm going to stay in contact with you. You're too important not to, and I love these relationships in my life. So you'll probably hear from me in the future with a text or a personal note or I'll call you again if that's okay with you. I promise not to overwhelm you. Of course you would say yes.
Yes.
And then know that it's not about the goals we set. It's about we've dropped to the level of our systems. Make sure you do contact them every 6 weeks, because at some point, the law of reciprocity kicks in, and they realize just how much you reach out to them. They start reaching back out to you because you start becoming top of mind. Is that where we were going with this?
Yes. I love it because you're also creating momentum. And we've discussed momentum before, and I know we're going to do probably an entire topic on momentum
Yes.
in an upcoming recording. But that momentum, because those habits create new actions and create that momentum. And next thing you know, you're looking 6 weeks back and realized how many people you've just spoken with, and you've created new energy around it. And I also wanted to circle back on something you shared that was so spot on. And this is the performer and the media coach in me saying, yes, yes, yes. When I do any, let's say, radio interview or interview of any kind that I'm not on camera, where I have to be like this behind my desk, I am standing up, just like you said, in the mirror. And I also will keep note, because if I watch my face expressions and I watch my energy, my voice is reflecting it. And
Yes.
so if there's, and every conversation is important. So when I'm getting on the phone, even with a new colleague or a new prospect for myself, I'm standing up, I'm looking in front of that mirror so that I'm giving them the energy that I know I want to give. And that recognition of myself and that self check definitely elevates where I'm able to go with that conversation, actually causes clarity. And as you said, we slow down and we become really aware of how we're representing ourselves. And as a listener, they're receiving all of that plus that energy. So you are so right about the importance of that. What is your feedback then on the momentum of creating these new habits? And is something that somebody has to do every day, or is any schedule a better schedule than not doing anything at all?
Yeah. Oh, Amy, I can hear that you are long in the tooth with being a good coach, because you have a way of opening up to more stuff. You know, there's one most powerful sentence in the world. If we believe in the power of one sometimes, this is the one sentence that can often change our lives completely. And the sentence is, I intend to give twice as much as what I ask for. We live in the generosity generation. And yes, we should have volume goals. And yes, we should have unit goals. But setting a referral goal is even more important. So when we go into these relationships, it should be this week that started this Monday, I intend to give 4 referrals and receive 2. That is a mindset that I
Ooh.
want to give more than I receive. Because if that's the logic, you will end up having better conversations with the right segmented buckets in that data bank. And with a proactive approach, you give 4 referrals, and guess what happens? You receive 2 back. It's a manifestation. And then the unit and the volume goals look after themselves. I get it that we have to be left brain. We've got to have the volume and the unit goals, but setting a referral goal for the week reminds you that you are in the relationship business. And if you add massive value to people, oh boy, it comes back in abundance. Once you have stayed with the system, and that's coming back to your question. Can you imagine if every day you decided that with my 100 people in my data bank, with my 20 people in my data bank, I'm going to do a simple 2 by 2 by 2. Every day at 9 o'clock, I do 2 emails, 2 voicemails, and I write 2 personal notes. That's only 6 people a day. By the end of the week, that's 30. By the end of the month, that's 120.
Mm-hmm.
By 6 weeks, you're at 150 people or such, 160. Then you go back to the beginning. And those who got the voicemail now get the email. Those who got the email now get the power note. And so you just switch up the vehicle, and every 6 weeks, that 150 people or so get to hear from you at least once. Now we're starting to build the emotional bank
Yes.
account, the consistency, the daily habits, and how exciting it is for a professional to know what they're going to be doing for a portion of their day every day.
Yes.
And Sales is never, ever a leftover activity. Or let's call it influence, or talking to your world is never, ever a leftover activity. A day that you don't have these positive conversations is a day that you're unemployed.
What I love as well is that doing this and also putting yourself out there and creating that confidence, removing the fear, you're most likely meeting new people in that 6 weeks time. And now you've got 130 people you're tracking instead of the 120. You're adding new people. I can think of the new amazing humans that have come into my life in the last 6 weeks that I'm already touching base with, even if it just means in my digital marketing or my social media. Hey, I loved that. Thanks for sharing that. It was so good to meet you last week. Want to stay in touch, laughing at their funny things or whatever that is, sending that quick email. If you tell somebody, yeah, I'm going to get you that number to that plumber that I knew, make sure you get it to them right away. These are touch points. And what you have just shared makes it a lifestyle that you start going, oh, I like these people. Wait a minute. I think they like me too. Hold on a second. I'm building something here that matters. And you're right. That takes it out of being sales. The sales will naturally happen. The transaction is coming, but those relationships are gold. And I don't want to say that Roger and I are older, but we are experienced in this category with a mature data bank.
Mature data bank. Amy, you and I met recently. The day that I met you, those couple of weeks ago, your entire approach was to find out all about me. You were so selfless. And by the end of the conversation, I felt like I'd known you forever. This was a friend of mine. And I suddenly put the phone down with you after our Zoom, and I thought, this is one of the nicest people I know. And since then, I've watched you in action. Everyone you touch feels emboldened, feels good, and they are taking note of everything that you do. So I've watched your energy in action just in the last 5-6 weeks. It's been outstanding.
Well, I feel the same way about you. You are infectious. So it's the same way where, you meet somebody, and we're using our friendship and collaboration as an example, but everyone's going to come across that person that you just click, or you feel such a camaraderie with, or you have alliances in certain things and things in common and habits and activities and those things. Connect with that, capitalize on that in a way that is for nurturing your own spirit and your own needs as far as relationship. Let that evolve to see where it becomes a transaction. Maybe it becomes someone that you help them with a home that's their sister, not them directly, but building those relationships and connecting yourself with people that can help you be better, that you want to be better with and for, is a huge part that I have experienced in managing my network. And I think that there are going to be multiple times that we come on and discuss this. And I'm sure that many of you watching this are going to say, hey, I've been doing this for years. Fantastic. Share your story with us. We want to hear your power network story on something where a person made a difference in your career and your life, and how staying in touch with your network works. We want to be engaged with those of you that are coming here and learning and listening and being a part of our journey as we share with you. Absolutely. And so we want to just put that out there. Do not be shy to tell us your great network story. Roger, why don't you give me one power story of someone in your network that surprised you, that just made a powerful difference in your life?
Yeah. There are a couple, and I've realized that you build these relationships, they trust you with their money, or they refer you, or they give you a tip, and you don't follow up with them regularly after that. And suddenly you get to hear or see that they're talking to another coach or using a different loan officer, and you think, but I was your person, and now you're using someone else. And it made me realize, well, Roger, I didn't think you needed me anymore because I never heard from you. So don't let perceived indifference rob you of your future. It's not that they don't like you. It's not that you don't like them. They perceive you've gone on to do well and you don't need them anymore. So having that simple system of every 6 weeks, getting back in touch with people who love you and care about you, and making sure perceived indifference doesn't rob you of your future. You've earned their trust. Stay in contact. Otherwise, it stagnates and perceived indifference. So having lost 2 or 3, what I thought were great advocates of mine, to competitors, was because I didn't stay in control. If you wish your relationship with someone to be very strong on a continuous basis, it's not 50-50, it's not 60-40, it's not 80-20. The shared responsibility is 100-0. 100% up to you to make sure perceived indifference doesn't rob you of your future. And so whether you are a very experienced person or a novice, if you are between escrows, know that the second escrow, the third, the fourth, and that pipeline will stay filled if you don't let perceived indifference rob you.
I love it. This is why Roger Savy is the ambassador of optimism. He is known for it, and you just experienced it firsthand. We are so thankful that you came to be here with us. We are going to be bringing a lot more great information from our experience, plus all of our Power Net Bank, our network bank, our net. Wow, there we go. I'm just going to say it's my power bank. That's it. That's what I call it. We're going to be bringing that to you and so much more as we move into the next episode upcoming of Between Escrows. I'm Amy Scruggs. This is Roger Savy. Thank you for being with us.